Okie dokie then, RipMax. We are streaming. Well, we're live right now.
Hello.
Well, we're not actually live. This is a YouTube video. Hello, YouTube peoples. Yeah. So, yeah, I am Rusketh, and this is RipMax doing his little jiggy.
Hello there.
That crowbar is kind of clipping into you a little weird.
No, I'm attacking myself.
No. I will attack you too. Okay. So I'm a little scared of those explosives that we've got over there. Uh oh. No. Oh. So RipMax. I want to show you ExpAdv2. Like, I know you know a little bit about it, but let's...
What are you talking about? Isn't this just the best? Look! What makes ExpAdv2 so much better than this?
How about we start with the programming structure?
How about we start with functionality first? Yeah.
Okay, well, functionality wise, everything's just easier.
That's true.
Yeah, so should we get a tab shared and start?
Yep. Oh yeah, you can do
yourself?
shared sessions in this, by the way, so if you're working on a project with multiple people, you can do this.
Okay, so load up the editor and what shall I call this session? Let's just call it Hi YouTube, and then a smiley face. Okay, so I'll create the session and then let's invite you into the session. Also, I've got the generic tab open. Let's close the generic tab. There we go. And let's make my oh, cool. Right, for this I'm also going to disable no, I'm not going to disable your cursor. It's a little bit weird with the cursors, if you haven't noticed. I really need to get sessions completely resolved. So what are we gonna do? Let's. Oh. And now the editor's throwing out errors because you deleted where my cursor was. I really need to fix that bug. Okay, so. By the way, my font setting is on actually quite high, so I'm going to take all of that and just delete it all.
You've broken it.
Have I?
Yep.
Click on 00.
Can't do anything.
You can't do anything? Really?
Got it.
You got it. Okay, cool. Right, so... yeah. So, where should we start? Because there's a lot of differences between ExpAdv2 and ExpAdv2. An example of a for loop in ExpAdv2. Oh, in ExpAdv2. I don't think for in ExpAdv2 is capitalized. You're not very good at this typing thing, aren't you?
Fix the editor and auto indentation.
Hey, the editor's not my work. The editor is Oscar's work. So right now, RipMax, you're just writing a basic for loop to compare them between ExpAdv2 and E2. Obviously, you've written toNumber and step in.
I know. This is toNumber here. Is of course what it wants to go to. In step, we've added the functionality for step. So like we wanted to do 1 to 10 plus step 2. That would increment by 2. Of course.
Okay, but here's something really cool with a for loop. I bet you never knew existed in ExpAdv2. And if
just
go
underneath that. Just go underneath that.
Okay, screw it. So imagine you want to do this. Okay, I'm going to start off by doing a basic example. For x equals 1, and then we're going to say 100
to 100, step 1.
Step 1, and then we're going to say for, and no, you do not need, when you're doing it this way, you don't need to add the
oh yeah,
code
if you've ever
box.
seen in, I think you can do it in C#, PHP, if when you don't add the code, when you don't add the curly brackets, it will run that until it reaches. Is it the first part, the first like next block of code? It will act like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we are. We're going to print every single vector. Okay.
No, you're not.
X,
Actually,
Y,
these need to start at 0 if they're vectors. You silly screw.
Okay. So right. So there, what we have is, and I'm going to comment out because the validation doesn't like the E2 syntax, obviously, because E2's
and this here,
and that there because that's meh. So yeah, right. What we got there is basically we're looping X, Y, and Z.
You're recording, so you place it down.
Okay.
Actually, hang on, wait a minute. Let's just keep it clean. Let's just put it in. So you can run code server side and client side. So here, this will run on the server side. So this will print to Rusketh's console.
Yeah.
If you put this in client, of course it would run on your client side and it would print to chat. This is
Yeah.
but in this instance, we'll run it on the server.
So I'm going to comment this out because whereas we are looping through X, Y, and Z individually, it's actually not the most efficient way of doing this.
If you're doing something like that, you might as well just have one for loop and just do like XXX.
No. See, what we do is this.
Also, did you get rid of the define processor command?
Hang on. Okay, so this is an easier way of doing it. I told you probably wouldn't know that this existed in ExpAdv2, but yeah, you can actually do that, and that is exactly the same as the top, apart from it just loops through every vector from 0 to vector 100. And obviously you can put your step. I mean, you could do it so it steps x1 and it does y at steps of 2 and does z at steps of 3, and you could even have it started to like 0, 25 and 75, for example. Yeah.
Yep. That's one of the many things you can do in EA2.
So let's talk more about this server and client thing, because it's a little bit
block down here.
It's a little bit complicated for people to comprehend. I got a lot of people asking me, Rusk, how does server and client different? You know.
And let's just move this out here to keep it clean. Actually, no, let's get rid of this now because I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah, everyone's seen that. So basically, when you in Garry's Mod in general, in any game, multiplayer game in general, you have multiple.
Oh shit, my guitar falling over. Sorry.
You have your server, which is where pretty much all the gameplay and everything actually happens server side. And then you have your client, which is everything that is
It's
visual.
client is mostly GUI visuals and stuff.
Yeah. And then they're all
So
synced.
like, say that you have a player moving about, the movement is handled by the server, but you actually seeing it is handled by your client, because of course the server's sending you every detail of a pixel. I mean, like, not only would that destroy the machine it's running on, it just would not work very well.
Yeah, and pretty much.
And even then, your client would still have to process that.
Yeah,
So-
so what ExpAdv2 does is it creates an instance of your code on the server side, but then it creates an instance of the code on the client side. Now, obviously, every client and every client is separate from each other, as every client is separate from the server. So
Think of it as
basically,
you've got your server,
yeah, every
you've got
machine runs
Rusketh,
a different instance of the
you got-
code.
you got RipMax, and you got some faggot who's stealing your code.
Yeah,
And then the server, of course, send its data to these, so you say like
Yeah.
so like Rusketh, a menu pops up, and he clicks a button and then that'll send a message to the server to process, I don't know, what's in that form, whatever. Say it was a report, you put some text in,
yeah,
he clicks send, your client would send data to the server saying, clicked, and whatever's in that box, text box. The server process that, and then maybe, if it's coded like that, the server will send something back to say it's done. So the server is like, you could think of it as a backbone of a game.
yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much, yeah. Now, with ExpAdv2,
I can see in the
obviously-
background when I try and delete your cursor, I can see it just throws a client error in the console.
Yeah, it does. We need to fix that, but yeah. So, in regards to server and client, now obviously there are things that the client can do that the server can't, and there's things that the server can do that the client can't. So, yeah.
Like, you can't do this on the
create,
server.
yeah, you couldn't do a draw screen event on the server because obviously it's rendering, and the server can't do rendering.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like you can't do apply force on the server. I mean, sorry, you can't do apply force on the client.
Exactly.
So, like,
If
right
we
now...
get this chip and create a screen for
Okay.
Rusketh, then that's not right, hang on. Rusketh is broken.
What?
Broken.
Broken how?
Oh, there you go. There you go. As you can see, that's your client processing that, not the server.
Yeah.
If you look at the box, you'll see client CPU is 5, on the server it's 0, because of course nothing's being processed on the server. It's all on client here.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if we was to go back into the editor and if, for example, I should change this to server,
It would, and I recompile that.
ExpAdv2
It's just thrown an error.
Yeah, ExpAdv2 now says that the event
There.
draw screen is client side only, so therefore it's telling you that no, you are not allowed to do that on the server.
Yep.
Now, when it comes down to server and client definition blocks, I mean, you don't actually have to have the
But
code
if you're
block
doing one
was
thing,
mentioned
you can do
earlier.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But if you're having a whole block of code, multiple things, it's much cleaner to tag it rather than having to do, so they doing, I don't know why, don't ever do multiple draw screens, just do one, but
Yeah,
it's much more efficient than doing that.
only one event of each type can exist at once. Like, should we? Because we've pretty much covered server and client now.
Let's get onto some coding.
Yeah, let's talk about events, and let's actually start doing something productive. So,
Hang on, wait. Oh, well done.
you want it back? I'm guessing. There we are.
Okay, hang on. So, say like, you know how in ExpAdv2, say like you wanted to run every tick, you do run on tick 1. Here I'm presuming you are sort of familiar with ExpAdv2.
Yeah.
Here you do run on tick 1, and that would set the code to be executed every tick.
But that's plus
In
pseudos.
ExpAdv2, we have something called events, and one of the events is called tick, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Whatever's in that event block is going to get run every tick.
Yeah, whereas a lot of people wonder how this is more efficient, or how this is better than what E2 has, because obviously it is easier to just type run on tick, do one, and then...
I think this gives you more flexibility, because if you do run on tick, of course the whole thing gets run at the same time, and you have statements to section out blocks. For this, you can easily section out blocks without having to put unnecessary amounts of code.
Yeah, so it won't...
It makes life a lot easier.
So like, for example, if you used to do run on tick in E2, and then you had like a massive, ginormous if statement, and only one line of that code runs every tick, then at the end of the day you're wasting so much performance, it's ridiculous. Whereas in ExpAdv2,
Whereas in ExpAdv2, you can have whatever's running every tick, and at the end, it's last. Literally just put.
Yeah,
and
so like
that, and that gets run last.
In E2, all this here would run pretty much every tick. No, it would run every tick. But in ExpAdv2, you don't even need to tell it to run on tick. Everything here and everything here will only run on the first execution, and then anything outside of the first everything you want to run on a tick event will be here. Nothing on that tick event will run there or there, for that matter. It's only going to execute what's in here. It's not even going to try to attempt to execute anything else. Yeah. So we've got multiple events, obviously. Now I'm just going to bring up the helper and let the YouTubers see what we're dealing with the helper, and I'm just going to bring up a list of all the events. I'm just going to minimize the operators, the functions and the methods. So there's no descriptions for the events at the moment. I'm still haven't added that, and there's our tick event right there. We've got loads of them, like player enter vehicle, disable HUD rendering, enable HUD rendering, on damage, trigger for when an input is actually changed. We can get the information about that and respond to it, rather than having to do that weird trigger operator, which is like the, I don't even know what that symbol is. It's like this squiggly line above pi. Yeah.
What? Squiggly line above pi.
I don't know what it is. Any matter, I'm just going to do it in the shared tab. That one.
Oh, that.
The tide. That's it. It's called the tide, isn't it?
The tide operator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you've got this in ExpAdv2. You might have seen, if you're familiar with Lua, people doing that, which is exactly the same as that, which means not.
Yeah. Well, not
Rusketh,
equal.
add it.
That's not equal.
It's not equal to something.
And no, I won't be adding now.
If true not equal to false, then print high. And of course, true is not equal to false, so it will print high.
Yeah.
If I do that though, it's never going to run unless something seriously breaks.
So yeah, well, let's actually create a usable event that does something. So I'm just going to look through our event list now and see if I can find one that is something that we could actually use right now. So I don't want to use like player chat, because everyone uses player chat, right? So how about...
Actually, no, let's use player chat because it's a nice one to start off. It's quite simple.
Okay, let's use player chat.
It has a nice it utilizes arguments and return values. And
I was going to use prop break, but let's use player chat.
Let's use prop break. It's more fun.
Yeah, but player chat actually takes a return.
Oh yeah. Let's do that.
That's cool. Okay, so we're going to change this to a player chat now. Well, you'll notice now that the event pretty much looks like a normal function, like you declare an E2 probably. Most languages.
Isn't it player?
Yeah.
And then string text, then boolean team.
you don't actually need to add the boolean. Honestly, it doesn't care if you miss off a parameter as long as the parameter.
It's just my habit, so you can do that, right?
No, you'd have to get rid of that.
Alright, yeah. Oh, yeah. Team is usually an unused parameter when it's come to using the player chat hook or event. But we'll keep it in here and for this instance, just to show you.
Yeah.
So if we do print, let's do player name. Oh, I forgot. It's a dot in ExpAdv2 name,
which is
said text, and then let's do inline operators. They're on here, aren't they? Text.
Yeah.
Team, and it was a team message. Else, just add nothing.
Yeah, okay.
And that'll say player name, so Rusketh said hi, and if they use team chat, it would say, and it was a team message. So we demonstrate that.
Yeah, let's demonstrate that. You post it down, and there it is, right there. There's the chip.
RipMax said hi. RipMax said, and then if I do a team chat, hello.
Okay, so I've just pasted down my chip so I can see the response now. So. Yeah, we can see that it's actually printing that information in now. That's running server side, obviously. So what if we wanted to make it so that what you said was hidden from everyone else? Or better still, let's make it do something a little bit crazy, like say
manipulate someone's chat.
Manipulate the chat. Now obviously this will only work for the owner's chat events.
Yeah,
so
to prevent minging. Yeah,
so like obviously if I was to paste this chip down once I've done this, it's not going to affect your chat, it will affect mine.
Let's do this. So return, I'm going to put, are you in the editor, Rusketh?
Yeah, I'm in the editor.
I'm going to put return hello there. So now, whatever I say, it will make me say hello there. If I paste it down, I just said hi, it just made me say hello there.
Yeah, and I'm going to post it down and just show it after it does actually work. I'm going to put RipMax is a faggot. Say it.
Oh, no, you don't.
And it just says hello there.
Now, stuff like this is useful for, I don't know,
a number of things.
Say like you were making a game, you could have a team tag, for example, like red. Are you in the session? Red.
Yeah.
Player. Text.
Need to literally do player.name.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then paste it down. Hi. I'm in red. Oh wait, hang on. Let me just put.
Wait.
We can get rid of player name because it's. There we go. Hi.
Yeah. So now every time you're typing something, it's gonna change your chat. Now, obviously, it won't work for me.
Because only if you place a chip.
Yeah. So if right now it's not gonna work for me because I don't own that gate, so it can't change my. Chat event, but if I paste my own chip down, now we've got it's working now for me because that gate is now responding to my chat events. Obviously, it can monitor anyone's chat events. It just can't modify.
You can only manipulate the owners.
Yeah, and obviously you don't need this return here, but it's just in case. It can be
useful in some cases. It depends what you're doing, really.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
All down to purpose.
And pretty much, that's events in a nutshell, really. Another thing that we probably should have discussed at the start and actually haven't is the one thing that everyone is probably who's going to try this is going to start scratching their brains, going, "Why isn't this working?" Now, obviously, because the syntax in ExpAdv2 is very similar to that of more higher level languages such as C, Java,
C-based languages, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
I go with C#. It's much like
in pseudo languages, like E2, what you do is you can just go A equals 55, and there you go. You just create a number called A, which is 55.
Whereas in ExpAdv2, you may be familiar with, like, you need to actually define what type it is. So int A equals 55.
What do you do number? I mean, int
Or
and
number.
number are the same thing.
Int's just a number's just an alias of int.
Yeah.
So, I think integer work. No, integer don't work.
No, int don't work. Integer don't work. Yeah. Now, obviously, another thing that a lot of people are probably going to be thinking. Well, they're going to be thinking with E2. A lot of people do think as if everything is E2. It's not, because if I validate this, it works fine. Now, if I was to do this and make it a lowercase a, it validates fine.
Yep.
A lot of people always make their variables uppercase because they don't seem to realize that that is an E2 only thing. It doesn't.
It's also completely up to your coding style as well. So
Yeah, it's all
I
up to you.
personally, I always lowercase the first letter of my variables.
Yeah, me.
I might do name like that.
I'm a lover of the uppercase. Honestly, I prefer uppercasing, but at the end of the day, there are times when you don't want to uppercase your variables, or you know.
I think it makes your code look unprofessional.
Maybe
Hold on.
that's coming from the one whose example is all uppercase lettering. Yeah. So, this, yeah, another thing that a lot of people tend to do, like they tend to do this, which is like number A, number B equals 6, and number C equals 7.
Stack loads of definitions on. You can do this in A, B, C equals 7. Is that right? Or if you just do that, it will define them all. I can't remember.
No, it'll only
Yeah,
define
don't
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that now means that A is 7, B is 7, and C is 7A. And then you can, yeah. So then
If we do print A, B,
B
C.
and C, yeah. And then if I
I'll
paste
print
that down,
789.
789, yeah. Now obviously that's printing out twice into my console because that is actually running
On both server and
on
client.
both
It's shared.
server and client. So if I prefix this with server, then now it's only going to print once.
And C console.
Here's another thing that you probably didn't even know about. RipMax, correct me if I'm wrong, that you do actually know about this, but now say if I've let's get rid of these two here for just a second. Now say if A is an important variable, but B needs to be defined, but it also needs to know the value of A before I can define the value of B, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to do B plus 6 right there, okay? No, not B, I mean A. So B is going to be the value of A plus 6, and we're just going to leave C blank, so C is not going to be defined right now. And that didn't work. Well, what's wrong? Hold on.
You need to do that.
Oh, I need to do the print, don't I? I need
Yeah.
to print A, B, and C. Oops, my bad. And I'm just gonna, for good measure, I'm gonna client prefix this, because otherwise it means the server has to send the data over. Okay, 1, 13, 0. And then obviously I can then do here that C is going to be A plus B. Oops, I need to lowercase those. Plus B, and there we go. Validation successful. And there we go. So C is 20 now. I mean, obviously there's no spaces, but mad details. Sounds so camp when I did that. So yeah. Where do we go from here is the question now.
Functions.
I was thinking the exact same thing. So right now, there we go. We've done everything. Now I'm gonna.
While you do a talk, I'll prepare a code.
Okay. So RipMax is gonna prepare up a little code here. I'm going to talk about functions now. A lot of people are used to functions being statical objects. Well, not even objects, just memory that runs. Now, in ExpAdv2, a function can be in one of two states. It can either be a function or it can be a delegate. Now, this is kind of me being well, ExpAdv2 is kind of taking a big piss all over C's way of delegates. They're not exactly the same. They're similar and they run within the same kind of principle, so to speak. But basically, what a delegate is it's a way of turning a function into an object, just like a number is an object, a string is an object.
It's like a callback, isn't it?
A delegate is basically just a pointer towards a function. So a function that literally can travel around. It can be passed through function arguments, it can be stored, it can be pointed tables, it can be moved around. Now, a delegate can't be called, and we'll go into the reasons why later on. So here we go. Here we have your remarkable example code.
I was going to first start by explaining what functions are for beginners. So say like you didn't want to do, I've done my first many times.
Yeah.
Say like I didn't want to do that because I'm lazy. I could just do function. I could do function print my first.
Now, obviously this isn't going to work. You're missing one very important thing there.
I noticed. Fix it for me.
Okay, so I'm going to come in and just fix that. So
yeah, I did do that originally, and I'm like, okay. Alright, and then, okay, so now...
I'm going to get rid of all this up here. Bite that.
Yeah. Now I can simply just do print my first.
Yeah. So
yeah, that'll
what we
print
have here
my first
is...
many times. Don't spawn it, because it'll just spam your chat.
Yeah, so what we have here is we're just defining a function. Now this void here basically states
It means there's no return value.
This function will give us the this type. So yeah, this is
void means nothing. It's void. There's nothing there, so no return value.
And then why is there two p's? So
print my first.
So print my first is the function name. And now for some reason there's two R's. RipMax, what are you doing?
No, on my screen it's fine. Now it's wrong. The session's come out of sync.
Okay, fix it.
Hang on, so I retype that.
Is that fine for you?
Yes.
It's not for me.
Hang on, let's recreate the session.
I think that might be best. Yeah, these sessions are a little bit buggy. You've got to excuse that. They are complicated as anything to do. So the code still isn't perfect yet.
I've invited you to one.
Have you? Okay, so I'm going to join RipMax new session, and I'm going to close the YouTube session. There we go. So here we go. A perfectly in sync session. Actually, don't mind me. I should add a resync session button, shouldn't I?
I think you just make it resync automatically over like set time period.
No, that would be too intensive. We'll talk about that later. So here we go. We've got every like 1, 2, 3. Why are you playing guitar? This is like a YouTube video. So here we have 11 calls to print my first. Okay,
yep.
Which is basically gonna print
my first 11 times.
Yeah, it's gonna print my first 11 times. Now, obviously, I'm not gonna run this because, fuck it, why not? I'm going to run it, and then I'm gonna open my console, and there we go. We have my first 11 times right there. For everyone watching on YouTube, they can now see that. Why they would want to see that, I don't know. If in case they didn't believe you, in case they were calling you a liar, RipMax. So yeah, now a lot of people are gonna say, well, what's the fucking point of that?
It's just a nice way to keep your code nice, clean, and formatted. It also decreases compile time, doesn't it?
No. You
Really?
remember the functions?
Well, because if you've got loads of these, like that, it's gonna take a look.
Yeah, definitely.
You see what I mean? You see?
Yeah.
Do you get the point now?
I get the point. You can stop spamming, and you can Control Z all that away.
What? Sorry.
You can Control Z all that away.
But yeah, it would definitely help with compile time.
Okay, cool. That is a lot of spam. Right, so now we're gonna. Right, I'm gonna get rid of all of this. Bye.
It's just gone out of sync again.
Has it?
Mm-hmm.
What have you got?
It's all there for me.
It's all there for you.
Hang on, let's try and completely delete everything. Is it? They're gone for you. Right, delete everything on yours.
I have deleted everything on mine.
Alright, go back to the first point. Character 1, line 1.
I am on character 1 line 1.
Okay, we should. Alright, what did I just type?
As does the. You're trying to get me fired?
What? Okay. So we should be in sync now.
Okay, so now we are in sync, despite the fact that... Okay. Right, so I'm going to start by declaring a server block, and what we're going to do is... Okay. So I'm going to define a function, and this function is basically just going to... It's going to return a number first of all, and it's just going to be add two numbers, okay? And then I'm going to take int A and int B.
No, because surely if you try to add two numbers... Oh, and so you add them together before you're just going to add 2 onto them. Then do ya. Fuck you, Rusketh.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, functions don't support the needy. Oh, what the deuce?
I tried to do Control Z.
Right, so here we have our function. Why are you making them times?
No, I'm just messing with you now. I've just noticed when you do Control Z, it undoes what the other person just did as well.
Yes, it does.
I need to fix that.
They are synced, and just to make it a little bit more uniform up in this, we're just going to do that. Right, so this function here basically returns A plus B, and to demonstrate that quickly, I'm just going to do print add 2 numbers, 1 and 2, and this is going to print 3 into my chat. Yep, 3 is now in my chat. Right, now let's move on to talk about delegates, shall we? So
I got this. I'll prepare a code if I'm right.
Okay, so
is it delegate?
Yeah. Now, obviously, this function here, it has a return value. It's there. It's a function. It's there. It works.
I don't know why I put number.
Okay. Now, RipMax, you have a problem here, because a delegate can't actually be implicitly called. It needs to be.
It worked before. That's how I've done it before.
Nope. That's
Why
not possible.
did it work?
Delegates can't be called.
Oh, you've done them wrong then. Because that worked for me.
No, delegates aren't callable. It's not possible.
Or delicates.
Shut up. Also, this is not the example I was going to give. Okay. Let's bye to all that. And let me.
Did you just delete it?
No.
Oh, good, because I thought we went out of sync again.
It's not out of sync. The code is still there.
Good.
I've got it selected.
Yes.
And now it's gone.
Yes. Wow, it's finally working.
Okay, so here we got a function add two numbers a plus b. So we all know that's fine, right?
Yes.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a I don't even know what I'm going to call this example. I'm just going to write it, and then after I've written it I'm going to explain how it works. So I'm going to have another function here which is basically going to, I don't know, it's going to return a number. I know that much, and it's just going to say, it's going to call do something, okay, and it's going to take a delegate, oops, and we're going to call this delegate A. No, we're going to call this delegate D, and then we're going to take number A and number B, okay, right. There we go. So now what we can do is, because we've got a delegate now, to talk about what a delegate is, it is literally just a reference to a function somewhere in memory. That's all it really is. It's just a pointer that says, hey, this function right here. Now obviously, as we've just discussed, you can't actually explicitly call it delegate, okay? And now, for the purpose of this example, I'm actually going to call this my delegate to just make things a little nicer. And then I'm going to do here, I need to put the delegate back into memory first, because it can't be called unless it's in memory. So we're going to do function void, and then we're going to say what to do, and we're going to say that that's going to be my delegate, okay. Oops, there's a random hash there.
The hashtag means count, by the way.
Yeah.
Or length.
Yeah, it's the length operation.
Oh shit. Let me try that. Oh shit.
Yeah, that would return the length of faggot. So it would return how many charts that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It returns 6.
Yeah.
And same if you got an array, it would return how many entries in the array.
Yeah.
Or table. Whatever.
Well, it would return the entries in the array element of a table.
Yes.
In the table.
It would count what you give it, basically.
Yeah. That's pretty much
anything that has a value or multiple things in it, it will count, basically.
Yeah. So here we have. So I've basically stored my delegate back into being a function, and the function is called what to do. Now here I need to change that from void, so telling the function that it can do a number, and then we're going to say return what to do. Okay. In matter of fact, let's do this. Number C equals A plus B. Okay, what to do.
Now when you do this, well, some people think you can coding, I'll explain it. Some people think that when you define like this, it doesn't actually call the function. It does. Whenever you do that, it will call it.
Yeah.
That's what some people get mixed up with sometimes. So I've heard people come to me saying like, why is this doing this? Because you're calling it. And they're saying, no, not you're calling it when you do this.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do here is I'm basically now saying that we're going to create C, which is going to be the value of A and B combined from our add two numbers function, and then we've got D, which is going to be basically A and B and that there. Yeah, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to return, and we're going to do it again once more just because we can take the piss with this. And we're going to say D and C, there we go. And then I'm just going to say print
do something.
Do something. Now
add two numbers here.
Here's where we have to use our casting operator. Now right here, obviously a delegate is not a function, so this can't actually assign a delegate to a function. What we'd have to usually do is convert it by basically saying that we need to convert that to a function. However, because it's an assignment, ExpAdv2 will do that for us, so we don't need to touch it. But in a function parameter, we actually do have to do the casting. So I need to tell it to convert
a function to a delegate.
Add two numbers, and it needs to add two numbers, and it needs to convert it into a delegate object. Okay, known as a cast. Okay, so it casts it into a delegate, and then we're going to give it 10 and 9. No, 26.
9 plus 10. No, put 9 plus 10 just because.
9 and 10. Okay.
Hang on.
So there we go.
You haven't noticed it, have you?
Haven't noticed what? RipMax. Right, there we go. So now this all validates. So do something is basically going to do a lot of stuff. I'm just going to put it
do a
down.
hell of an unnecessary amount of stuff.
And we get 57. And just to demonstrate that the power of this, I'm going to do sub two numbers, and it's going to be minus, and then I'm going to give it sub two numbers instead. And just to prove that it works, this should return 1, and it does.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. That's
delegates and functions covered then.
That's delegates in a nutshell. Yeah. Another thing that we could mention is that let's create a timer. Okay, so I'm going to
suggest timers earlier. Yeah.
I'm going to create a number, and I'm going to call that number A.
I guess they're pretty familiar on what timers are. Let's not tell them what timer it is, because we'll just tell them how to use them.
Yeah. I'm going to explain delegates. As I said, what you use to pass pointers to functions around and whatnot. So I'm going to create our timer, almost like function then.
It's timer create.
Yeah, timer create.
Then the time and index name.
My timer. Oops, timer. There we go.
Then the time, the delay.
Yep. So I'm going to give it
5 seconds.
1 second delay.
1 second. And then if you put 0, it will repeat forever. Put
Yeah,
1, it will do it once, twice,
We're going to
so
do
on.
10. We're going to do 10.
It will run this. It will run this once every second for 10 seconds.
Yeah. Now, one thing that we need to do is tell the timer what to do. Now, what we could do is we could create our function like we did before. Function void my func, and then my funky func lol, and just print the value of A. So print the value of A and then increment A by 1, and then just do that.
And then here you just give it my funky func, which is the function, and when it comes to run it would.
Yes, apart from that won't
my
work.
funky func.
Apart from that won't work because it's a function call, so we need to convert it to a delegate first, and then
I was thinking it lower.
yeah, then successful. That will
run.
work. That will work fine.
That will print A and increment it 10 times
0,
every
1
1 second.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll wait to 10, and then it'll stop. Well, it might actually only get to 9. Yeah, it only gets to 9 because it started
from 0.
Because it started from 0.
Let's
Now,
do it. That. Then.
Obviously, that is a lot of work. I mean, we gotta
Welcome
have
to maths lesson.
yeah. It's a lot of work. We got all that there. We have to first create our function, then we have to cast it to a delegate. That's a lot of work right there, isn't it?
I love how we've done like 10 videos worth of tutorials in one. We'll probably end up editing it and putting it into multiple though.
No, we won't. I'm too lazy for that. Right, there we go. What I've just done is I've literally inside where, our function where we need to put the delegate, I've actually directly made a function, and it is already a delegate. Just by saying function, there's no name, no return type. I can add parameters if I need them, and then our body is just straight in there, and then there we go. This is an inline function, otherwise, yeah, it's just straight in there, and that will actually work. Believe it or not. There we go. Just paste it 0, 1, 2 as before. So there we go. Really cool. Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean,
as you can probably tell, it's a very powerful language, expert and advanced.
yeah, there's a lot you can do. So to move on from here, there's a few more things that we do need to, you know, cover. And I don't like to say this word, not anymore anyway, but a lot of people like WireMod, and they're going to want WireMod inputs and WireMod outputs in ExpAdv2. I mean, granted, that's the whole backbone of having an add-on like this. If you want to be able to program something in-game, you want to be able to have it so it can communicate with other entities, and let's be honest, nothing does that better than WireMod. So
That's because WireMod is the only fucking thing that does it.
there are a few alternatives out there, just no one knows about them.
WireMod is better though.
Yes, granted it is.
It is better. It's coded better than it was.
Now, the one thing that you've got to realise is that WireMod, the WireMod communication, so the wire part of WireMod only actually works server side. There is no client side variation of that.
It didn't need to run server side. I mean client side, sorry.
No, it doesn't. So here we are. I'm going to create an input, and I'm going to call it. Well, it's going to be a number, and it's going to be input A. Now,
I'll spawn down a constant value.
Yep. So if I were to set that to a lowercase a, because of the way WireMod works, unfortunately, that has to be a capital A. It's annoying, but it has to be a capital A because it's a WireMod port. So yeah. Now, if I try to assign this, we say input number A equals 5. Input number A will equal 5. That shouldn't actually be possible, believe it or not, but I haven't actually implemented that yet, because assigning to an input is stupid. But meh. Tabbing, why are you so messed up? There we go.
I've placed down a constant value with normal, angle, and vector in it.
Okay, so
which will also allow us to cover wire links soon.
if I print the value of A, so
if we go ahead,
put the gate down, and it's printed 0.
Wire A to the normal 100 on the constant value. Now, if you refresh the
yeah,
chip,
if I refresh the chip now that
it's wired.
has been wired, it will print 100.
Because the constant value is equal to 100.
Now, that's all good and well, but I want to know when that input changes. So I'm going to do
something called a delta.
Event trigger, okay, which now means that we're going to trigger.
Which is called every time the wire input or output changes, right?
Yep, port name, and I'm just going to do. Hold on. Print.
Because port name comes in a string, we can use a wire link here if you want to get the value of it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. This is where we'll also demonstrate wire links. Wire links are incredibly useful if you're handling a lot of inputs, like for example a pod controller.
Yeah. So I'm gonna print.
Because it substitutes 20 input, 20 wirings for 1.
Dude, that is loud down the mic. Please don't. that's going to annoy our viewers. Okay, so there you go. I created an event now. It's going to print what port name was triggered, and just to make this, we're going to keep A, but we're going to add B, and then we're going to add C. So yeah,
that will mean that will put triggered A 100.
Wait, hang on. It's not going to print off the triggered value, is it? So hold on, I just need to update this. I'm going to say print A dot dot, and then the value of A, and I'm just going to copy and paste this to B, and then B, C, and then C. Right, okay, I'll put that down there. So now if you were to change the output on...
I'm just going to debug the chip. Ignore me.
Okay. So now if you were to change the value of that constant value there, okay, maybe not right. I'm gonna get some buttons. I'm gonna get a button like I'm gonna get this button, and I'm gonna get a toggle button. I'm gonna put it there. Right, I'm gonna wire these up. So B is gonna be that one, and C is gonna be that one. Right. Now, when I press this, B triggered B, B is now 1. And I let go, triggered B, B is now 0. And then with the toggle one, I don't have to hold it down. Triggered C, C is now 1. And then I do that and triggered C again, C is now 0. It's as simple as that. And then if I get the ExpAdv2 tool out again, and should we say, let's get rid, matter of fact, let's keep that there. Okay, I'm going to create an output, because you don't actually have to create inputs and outputs in a specific place in ExpAdv2. So I'm going to create my output here, and the output is going to be value. Okay, right, and I'm going to set that value to be a default 0. Okay. Alright, output number. Okay. Right, in matter of fact, it kind of does matter where it goes, so let's put it there for the moment. Just so we don't have any...
Don't the inputs and outputs have to be before the code though?
No, they don't. They can literally appear anywhere you want them to. Though that's for advanced use. It's easier just to have them outside of where you need them.
And then just set the value.
Yeah, especially
if you're creating an output or input there and then, you have to go and wire it before you can really do anything with it. So
yeah, what I'm doing here is I've created an output called value, and it's value will plus every time a trigger event is called.
So basically, as soon as you change it, it's going to constantly increment.
Let's get ourselves...
It's going to get an infinite loop as soon as you press a button or whatever.
No, it's not.
Does trigger not go on?
Trigger is only inputs.
Alright. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the my mod trigger input function.
Yeah, it would make no sense to have it on outputs.
That's a bit stupid.
Let's be honest.
I am tired.
Okay, so I'm gonna put down a screen there, value A, and we're gonna wire that value into there, right? So right now the value on that is 0. Oops. And I'm gonna... it's not working. Why isn't it working? RipMax! Stop with the guitar!
I'm bored.
Where are you, boy?
I'm waiting for you to finish on your section.
Okay, for some reason this event isn't working, which is interesting to me. Plus equals 1. Let's just try that. It might be that it didn't work correctly. Let's screw it. Set it to a tick event. That did work last time I tried it. There we go.
So yeah, every tick that's...
Yeah, so every tick now that's incrementing the value by 1. It might just be that, wait. Oh yeah, we spawned a new gate, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
That would be why. So these buttons aren't actually wired up. Long.
But you get the idea, guys.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Now, just because, like, I really want to just let people see just how powerful other stuff
Shall we do some...
we can do.
If you write a code in ExpAdv2, I'll write a code in ExpAdv2. The same code.
See, what I was going to do is I was going to actually just do this and go into here and get that prop. No, I want a bigger thing than that. And then
Oh yeah.
play.
And I'll steal the code for that.
It's welded. Hold on, I need to create frozen. Create welded. Let's disable that. There we go. Oops, daisy. So this is my reflective mirror. Have you seen this yet? When I can pop it down perfectly.
Do you see the perfect rendering? If we put it side on, you can get a roughly see. Hitbox, sort of. I mean, yeah, sort of. Not really.
Yeah, the Jeep, not a very good thing to actually attempt rendering. What I usually do is use this couch.
There you go.
Now let's just angle it down a little bit because I want it to be able to see the floor. There we go. And that's much better. There we go. And you can see his player model rendering on there. But yeah. There's a load of really cool stuff that's possible with this. And that's basically just a mirror that's reflecting.
It's basically a front-facing camera.
It's more than just a
I
front-facing
remember
camera.
back in the old days of Lemongate, I made a for my vehicles, I made a terrain response system that actually scanned the terrain and adapted.
One thing that you may not notice with this is that everything appears is the exact same size on the screen. So it is literally a true mirror. So like,
So it does.
yeah, it is perfectly to scale. Everything is. What else have I got in my arsenal? Let's show off. Should we say?
Why do I only see you?
Let's go into the session. Here we go. Here's something nice we've got. You can see that code, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
So what I'm doing here is I've got a server-side event that's reading player chat. Then I'm creating a stream object. Streams are what you use to transfer data between
Server and client.
chips and server and client. So we're using a net stream here. Net stream specifically is a stream object which
Server and client on the same chip.
yeah, which allows server and client to
It's like if you
communicate.
live Lua, Gmod Lua, the net library.
Yeah, in essence. So what we're doing is we're just sending the player that spoke, what they said, and then we're giving it a unique name which is speak, and then on the client when we've received that net stream, we are actually using the Google Translate API to get to create
Shall we
and
demonstrate?
get a sound file, and then we are using play URL to get that sound file. Yeah, let's give it a go.
The speaker equals local player.
Oh yeah, let's get rid of that. Okay.
Okay. I pasted it down.
Pasted it down, and all we gotta do is right click, Expression Advanced, enable sounds from URL, and now I've enabled sound from URL.
Hello. You're an asshole. Have a good day. I like Pismofo. Oi bitch.
Yep. And
Google will fuck you up.
that's basically how you make the Google Translate API talk a load of bollocks from chat, and then you can just right click again and click disable sounds from URL, and now that system is completely off. I don't really think we've got anything else really to cover, do we? When it comes down to Expression Advanced 2, it's just pretty much covered anything. Guys, if you want, leave us some comments in the YouTube video.
I know what to exit on.
Oh, okay. Well, what should we exit on?
This, just to show the sheer power of.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, enable sounds from URL on this thing. Hang on, let me get a bigger screen.
It's nothing that's going to get us a copyright infringement, is it?
Yeah, no.
Okay, cool. Enable
It's on its
sounds from
side.
URL. And the power of Expression Advanced 2. That's really cool, RipMax. How long did that take you to make?
A long time. A lot
Did
of
it?
messing about. Have you noticed how all those like little things that pop up the lines, they are actually meant to be sheets popping out of something, and they're all perfectly aligned.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's really cool. It is really cool.
Took me a while to do that.
How many lines of code is that?
It's like 33.
33 lines of code. Wow.
You can look in it if you want. Actually, I'll put it. No, I'm gonna give it out. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in the shared session. There you go.
I'm not in the shared session. I'm just looking at the physics class because, man, I want to show off the helper. There's videos heading, so let's just show off the helper. And
Hang on, wait. Let's just up the volume.
Oh,
You're still recording.
oh, it is up in the volume. Yes. Cool. Yeah.
Also, it can also play MP3. So if I do this, hang on.
Ooh, let's have a look.
Let's use my website, ripmax.xyz/MP3.
Where are you typing? It's not typing anywhere for me.
It's
Oh. Lol.
problem is I've noticed with MP3s it seems to cut off about halfway through.
It might just be because it's your server. I've known people who haven't had that problem. Right.
I think it might just be Toxis. I don't know. It only happened on there.
Yeah. Anyway, I've disabled that now. Client-side tick quote as well.
Really? Didn't for me.
Alright, let's... There we go. Okay, guys. So, yeah, add me on Steam if you want to know any more information. We've got a bug tracker. It's on our GitHub page. We've got a GitHub repository. It's on our GitHub page, and we've got a workshop. It's on our GitHub page. Also, don't forget to check out poweredbylemons.com. It is a crappy website that we are running.
Yeah.
And pretty much
Free host.
Yeah.
It's got a theme on it that we started working on and never finished.
Yeah.
We'll finish that some year.
So yeah, happy coding, people.